Welcome to Backyard Family Fun, the podcast from Pride Pool Spas and Leisure Products in Claxton and Savannah, Georgia. Celebrating 50 years serving our community, this family-owned business has spent decades helping create memories that last a lifetime. Whether you're a pool owner, a spa lover, or just looking to turn your outdoor space into a true retreat, we've got you covered right here on the Backyard Family Fun podcast. And as a crazy awesome deal for our Backyard Family Fun podcast fans, you get 10% off anything inside either location in Claxton and Savannah, excluding pools, hot tubs, or saunas when you mention the podcast. That's all you have to do. Go and visit the Claxton or Savannah Pride pools, mention the podcast, and get 10% off. Now that's a reason to celebrate. Welcome back to Backyard Family Fun, brought to you by Pride Pool Spas and Leisure Products. I'm the producer, Dee Daniels. Really excited to once again be in the virtual studio. We have a good time in the virtual studio too, and I'm excited to introduce my next guest, who is the Chief Sales Officer with Devon Kahn Associates and the rep for Doughboy Aboveground Pools. Chet Williams is here. Chet, welcome to the show. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, thanks so much, Dee.
This is going to be a great conversation. I love talking about above ground pools, and I think I would love to get your take on it, but I think just from a broad perspective, you think about above ground pools when we were growing up and what above ground pools are now is just worlds different.
It really is, Dee. It really is. Not only are the colors and the style of the pool so much more modern, but the look and the feel and the sizes of the pools have completely changed from when Doughboy first started making pools almost 75 years ago.
Yeah, it really is amazing to see what's available. And I love too, when in talking about above ground pools, that, you know, sometimes obviously our budget dictates what we're going to do, but at the same time, sometimes, especially around some of the great historic places we have in Savannah and the surrounding areas, sometimes the size of your yard dictates what you're doing too. And now there's a little something for everyone, no matter what that circumstance is.
You're right. We build pools from as small as 8 feet round to small lots, like you were saying, in some parts of Savannah that have a very small backyard. We have small ovals, like 12 by 24, or we can go all the way up to monster pools that are 21 by 41. So we really do have a size pool for every backyard.
Mm-hmm, no doubt about it. Of course, if you go into the Claxton location or the Savannah location of Pride Pools, you can really see a lot of these things that we're going to be talking about. Even if you go online or just tap the link in the show notes of the episode, you can see a lot of what we're talking about too. One of the things that you'll see if you're just sort of starting that shopping process and figuring out what your backyard is going to look like and what kind of choices you have is the different models from Doughboy. Could you run through those a little bit and sort of give us some detail? They're all very different, and I love that. So you're going to get a variety for sure to pick from.
Yeah, that's right, Dee. The models at Pride Pools are the models that are the best-selling pools that Doughboy offers. So they start with a pool called the Somerville. It has steel top rails, which is the part that you can put your hands on the top, and then the uprights are the parts that go around the pool. Steel is a great product. It lasts a long time, and it's super strong. And they go from that pool to a larger steel pool, which is the best-selling pool that Doughboy makes, which is called the Copper Canyon. That pool has a 7-inch top rail. The Copper Canyon is big, it's strong, it looks great. Like I said, it's the number one selling pool that we sell at Doughboy. And then from that pool, we jump into a pool that is called a Resin pool. And a Resin pool is a resin top rail and resin uprights. And it is for looks and feel. So with the resin pool, not only do you get the looks of a curve, which what we can do with plastic, but you get a style that can't really be replicated with steel. And you also get the benefit of it lasting a long time and being rust proof. So those are the styles of pools that we do. There's also a celebration pool that we make specifically for Pride, which is for their 50 years in business celebration. And it's a wonderful resin pool that they call the celebration pool. What's nice about this one is it is a modern look of grays and darker grays. So those colors are starting to come back. Wood grain styles are starting to come back. I think we all remember from the 70s or in the 80s, the wood style that was very popular. It's definitely back. And the Ashwood pool is a wonderful pool that they have there at Pride that we make specifically for them.
I love that. I love that you brought up that wood grain too, because you're right. I feel like it is absolutely back and people are pulling that into all kind of looks, especially in the backyard oasis. I mean, when you're thinking about putting the pool in, you're also probably thinking about the grill and the outdoor kitchen and what's that going to look like. And so like for all of it to sort of fall into your theme and to have that choice for the pool, I mean, that's just absolutely fantastic. And it's it's something that it looks really, really high end.
It really does, Dee. And it's funny how trends kind of go back and forth and fashion styles go back in. A lot of the pools at Pride are in a neutral sort of color, so it blends in with every backyard, but they also have styles that are going for more of that modern look and style that, each homeowner can kind of feel comfortable blending in their surrounding backyard, look with the color of the pool.
I'd love to go back and ask you a little bit more about the resin piece because, I think one of the things that might come up about that, like, is it as durable? Or are we still looking at, something that's going to last as long? Is if we choose that, are we losing something?
You are not losing something. So our resin rails are all extruded and they are the strongest in the industry by far. In the showroom, you'll be able to see side profiles of each of these pools. This is not a flimsy plastic. This is a very, very strong resin that our factory includes special UV inhibitors for long lasting, full Savannah sun longevity. And they're all backed up by really long warranties that are covered not only by our factory, but by Pride Pools. And it's really the only manufacturer that builds resin pools that are built to last, which is one of our slogans.
Yeah, I love that. And I think too, talking about sort of Doughboy in general, just the longevity of Doughboy and the craftsmanship that goes on with the materials. I mean, could you talk a little bit about their history and sort of the reliability piece?
Sure. Doughboy has been in business for over 75 years. I think it's actually a little bit longer. They started off as a vinyl sealing company. It was called Domain Industries, and they sealed flour and grain bags back in the early 40s. And the name Doughboy came from US soldiers that were named Doughboys back in World War One. And because of the fact that they were doing flour, the Doughboy name came because a lot of the Americans were eating biscuits that were in their rations. And so that's how the Doughboy name came. And as they expanded their business, they started making the vinyl blow up pools from back in the 40s, the little splash pools. You can kind of go online and see some of the things that were made that long ago. And they've always been made in America. The owners have always had a position that they are building something that will stay in somebody's backyard forever. There's lots of pictures that you can see online or on the Doughboy website of pools that are built 20, 30 years ago that are still standing in people's backyards. And it's something that they take pride on. One of the slogans they do is bigger, better, stronger, longer. We take pride in building, beautiful pools that are not only stronger with the hardware and the steel that we use to manufacture the product, but we back all of our pools with a very, very long warranty that no other pool company does for above ground pools.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty amazing. I love that story, and I love the fact that you shared that. I just think that goes a long ways to, especially new customers coming in, to say this isn't, an operation that showed up, 6 months ago. This has been a business and a family business and something that's been going for a long time. And the proof is certainly in the product. Can you talk a little bit about the liners of the pools? That's one thing that I think a lot of people are interested in. And this season of Backyard Family Fun, we've been really sort of diving in a little deeper behind the scenes with some of the materials and where they come from and the the practicality piece of, like, a lot of people are doing, want that generational pool. Will this last? And, what I'm putting in, and is it something that if I decide to move, what are we doing with the investment piece of it? But I'd love to sort of zoom in a little bit and talk about that.
Okay. Yeah. Doughboy, like I kind of gave a little bit of their history is in vinyl. And unlike any other manufacturer, they build their vinyl from scratch. They are not buying the vinyl material from overseas or buying it from another company. They manufacture their vinyl liners from raw resin and extrude the material. And then they have a process that's called calendaring it, which means that it is laid out so that it is a flat, even vinyl material across the entire, breadth of the liner. And they add UV inhibitors and stabilizers to make sure that the product not only stays the color, but that it lasts a long time. They have a special technique of sealing the liners so that there are no leaks. And they also are the only manufacturer that have liners that can stretch into bottoms of pools where you can have, instead of a flat bottom pool, you could have a bellied out deep end, if you will, inside of the pool. We're also the only manufacturer that warranties their liners for a lifetime on all seams. That's not something that the mainstream above ground pool liner companies offer. It's because their liners are from overseas. It's also because their liners are very, very thin. And it's also because the process of which they go by welding their liner seams together is a very cheap and automated process, whereas ours is a hands-on process that is checked and inspected for leaks and for, longevity.
That seal that you're talking about, that the thermoseal? Is that what they call that one?
It is. It is a thermoseal. We have a special technique of using hot air welding. Hot air welding is not only a very effective way of welding two vinyl, materials together, but it is also super strong. On our website, we have a video of a pull test where they are pulling a liner apart, and the liner will pull apart in other areas of the liner versus the seal. So the seal is super, super strong. Other parts of the liner are welded with a technology that is called RF. It's more of a traditional way of welding where two bars come down and basically melt the liner together. It's not actually using heat, it's using a radio frequency, which actually bonds the material. Those are the two styles that we use for welding liners.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, you can just tell with something like that how much thought has gone into this so that you can have that no leak and lifetime, warranty. I mean, that's just fantastic to be able to say, yeah, and it's tested. and you can see that, which is really cool. One of the things too, I know that customers that walk into Pride Pools always excited about the team, the network of people involved, from coming in, and saying, this is maybe the kind of pool, the style that I would like, this is what would fit in my backyard, to working with the team there on installation and everything that goes along with it. Being able to have that team environment. I mean, you're a member of the Pride Pool team too, so you know how all of that works together to benefit the customer. Would love for you to talk about how all of these pieces do work together for those that are coming in and saying, I really want to build something magnificent in my backyard.
Indeed, that's one of the big benefits of not only my company, Doughboy, but also Pride. Pride has been around for over 50 years. We've been in business. Doughboy has been manufacturing pools for over 75 years. We're a large family business. Pride is a large family business. They take pride in not only the products that they offer, but their employees. Their employees are so knowledgeable about above ground pools. They've been doing it for so long. They know all of the good and all of the bad. We do training each year with their employees. Some have been there for over 10 years, 15 years. Some have been there, are brand new, but they offer a wealth of knowledge and information for anybody coming down looking for a pool. Their team, strives in not only, customer service, but also keeping knowledge of, updating, information with changes with, features of new pools and, new products. And they're constantly training and keeping their employees up to date on information and knowledge of the pool industry.
It is amazing to see, and I love sort of the data bank they have going on, for all of their customers, because you buy one product and they're gonna know that you bought it, and later when you go back and you say, I bought this product and I really liked it, but I couldn't remember what it was. Or, does this product work with the pool that I have? Boom, they've got it right there and they're all just right on top of it. And that goes such a long ways when you think about how the pool industry has changed over those 50 years of Pride being in business. All of the technology piece. I mean, the pumps and the cleaners and the vacuums and the filters and the liners and all of that is gotten so much better. So when you're able to go in and have somebody know, this is what you need that can work for not only your pool or your spa, but also your lifestyle. I mean, they really know their business. And I think it's in part to this network that we're talking about, of everybody working together. And I think it's such a really great thing. Before we wrap up, are there anything that you notice that it might be, kind of, you're in with the Pride Pools team a lot. And so are there concerns that customers bring to the table about, making the purchase for an above ground pool, and they don't know, and it really is the education piece? Are there any sort of pain points that you have seen kind of customers walk in with that they can really get some great information by going in and having a conversation?
Yes, I think when homeowners are thinking about the purchase of an above ground pool, it's a big purchase. Not only is it going to change, their backyard, but it's also a commitment. You have to really kind of think about it. It's a large amount of water, that's going to be in their backyard that they're going to need to take care of. And there's lots of questions that Pride can answer, from everything from, what is it going to take, to chemically treat this pool, to, how much is it going to cost to install. Pride has all of these answers and can handle all of those questions for the pools. They have been doing it, and like you said, in Claxton and in Savannah for so long. There's nothing that they haven't come across that they can't answer. I think a lot of concerns that homeowners have, especially, with the internet, is they're starting to see, prices on pools that just don't even look real. It's kind of like a catch where they see a price of a pool. It doesn't really exist. You actually go to the store and you ask about this, this very cheap price, and that style pool doesn't exist, or it's not what you were actually looking for. Pride has, like I said, has been doing this for so long. They don't offer, those types of bait and switch, if you will, tactics for pools. They answer all of the questions. They offer pools that only manufacturers like myself stand behind, where we stand behind our product with a long warranty and a long service behind the product. And I would want to know, as a homeowner, after I make this commitment to the pool, that not only do I have a company that stands behind the product, but I also have a local company that also stands behind the product. So I think those concerns are all taken care of, at Pride Pools.
No doubt about it. I couldn't have said it better myself, Chet. That was awesome. Yeah, I think it's a wonderful thing. And I love the fact that they test out all the products all the time. It's not just about, here we have this particular, product and we're going to put it in the store, and you walk into Pride and you see it and it's never been tested by the folks that are standing right in front of you. And they do. And they absolutely test all the products. And I just think it just goes a long, long ways. If you want to see some of the pools that we have been talking about, it really, they're very, very cool. I would love for you to just tap on the link in the show notes. Of course, pridepools.com. In the Aboveground section, you can see that right there, all the ones that we were just talking about as well. Chet Williams, Chief Sales Officer, Devon Conn Associates, and Doughboy Aboveground Pools. Very knowledgeable. I really enjoyed this conversation, and I think folks are going to go and check it out even as we're talking about it. So thank you, Chet. This has been great.
Dee, thank you so much.
Let the celebrations continue. The team at Pride Pools is excited to give you a huge anniversary special. Actually, 3 of them. To celebrate 50 years all year long, you can get up to $10,000 in savings on 3 anniversary fiberglass pools. There are 3 sizes to choose from: the backyard size, the family size, and the fun size. How cool is that? So stop by the Claxton or Savannah locations of Pride Pools, or go to pridepools.com for more information. Thanks for listening. Come by and meet your local pool and spa experts in Claxton on Highway 280 West, or in Savannah on Gateway Boulevard South, or go to pridepools.com. If you love backyard family fun as much as we do, be sure to give us a rating and review, and subscribe or follow on your favorite podcast platform so you never miss an episode. And if you have a question or topic you'd love for us to cover, drop us an email, info@pridepools.com, or tap the links for Facebook or Instagram in the show notes of this episode. We'd love to hear from you. Now let's go make a splash and have some backyard family fun.